Welcome into Intentional Lounging. Today we are breaking down the NFC, the conference that started the NFL, and I'm pretty excited to talk about these guys because you see these two gentlemen with me, big-time Lions fans. So we are going to start talking about their division, this NFC North, one of the best divisions of football now. Ethan, I'm going to start with you, send it to you first, because these Chicago Bears, man, they might be winning the Super Bowl. Let's talk about them.
Let's not and say we did. They're fourth in the division. Well, I'll start. I think the division's going to be fairly competitive. Maybe not quite as dominant as what we saw last year from the Lions, from the Vikings. Vikings definitely aren't repeating what I saw, but I'm going to get a lot of hate from this. I actually have the Packers winning the division this year. But before I get a lot of hate mail for, obviously, huge Detroit fan, I think it's going to work out better for the Lions in the playoffs. I think going 15-2, having the 1 seed, having the bye, I think that halted all of Detroit's momentum. I think they were the hunted team coming into the playoffs. Commanders had nothing to lose, and just don't think it set up very well. I think Lions will do better if they come in without such a big target on their back. So I actually don't mind if they don't win the division this year. I'm completely okay with that. As long as they get into the playoffs, that's all I'm hoping for. I do have Detroit second in the division. And I think Packers could win 12, 13 games. I think Detroit is probably closer to 10 or 11. I do have Minnesota third, but I do think they take a step back. J.J. McCarthy is really the question mark, obviously, on that team. Ben, I think I was talking to you a few weeks ago. My concern is the J.J. McCarthy, just his entire working up to a starting job, reminds me so much of Mahomes, where they had a quarterback who did really well for them, brought them to the playoffs, and then said, we don't need you because we have this young guy coming in. Obviously, Mahomes is who he is, and that's, I guess, my one fear of what J.J. McCarthy could be if that's what the Vikings are seeing, but not great reports coming out of camp. And then, the Bears, not much to talk about. I mean, until they show me that they can have a winning record, I think they're under their win total in 6 straight seasons now. But their fans will tell you they're winning the Super Bowl every single offseason. So until they show me they have any chance of doing so, they're staying in the cellar of that NFC North.
Yeah, I'll just start. The NFC in general, I am having a really hard time figuring this conference out. I think the AFC is a lot more, although I did go on a different, went a little outlier in the AFC episode. If you want to check that, it's a episode posted a week ago. But yes, I'm having a really hard time with the NFC. I'm just not liking a lot of these teams. And the NFC North, I think, is the toughest division. I mean, these win totals: Lions 10.5, Green Bay 9.5, Minnesota 9.5, or Chicago 8.5. I don't think there's a division like that. Maybe the AFC North. I don't know. It seems like it's going to be competitive once again. You always see all those Bears fans. We don't need to harp on those Bears. I mean, God bless their soul. They have a lot of preseason hype every single year, and they never learn. But that's just Chicago for you. I'm also with Ethan. I have them dead last, even with the new coach, Ben Johnson. I just don't really trust in Caleb. I don't trust in really much that they got going on. We do have a couple Michigan boys in this conference or in this division. I will be rooting for Colson Loveland for the Bears. I think he'll be utilized pretty well in that Ben Johnson offense, especially with the young quarterback in Caleb. When you got a young quarterback, you always go to your tight end as a safe player. So I'm excited to see how he does. I also have Minnesota at 3. Very excited to watch my boy J.J. McCarthy. Again, another Michigan boy. I have high hopes for J.J. I think it's more just because I love him so much, and I feel like I owe him a huge debt for all he did for me at Michigan. But I think 9.5 wins is a little exaggerated because of how well they did last year. I just don't really see it. I would take that under on win total. And then I am going to take Green Bay finishing second. I've faded the Lions too many times, faded them last year to win the division, and they ended up winning easily. But I'm going to take the Lions to win it at plus 160. I'm seeing over on DraftKings. I don't love their win total, 10.5. I think they're going to, right where Ethan said, 10 wins, 11 wins. But I think they might squeak out Green Bay, potentially win it. I think they play them. Did they play them last weekend again?
First.
I think they played Minnesota last.
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I'll have Detroit winning late in their second game against Green Bay to push them to the edge to win the NFC North. But again, this is my least favorite division, and I'm having a lot of trouble with the NFC in general. But Lions to win it, don't love it, wouldn't bet it. We'll be rooting for it, but honestly, just hoping that JJ doesn't embarrass himself.
I think this division is super interesting because of a lot of factors. One is like the owners are legendary in the NFC North. You've got the Ford family up in Detroit, and then in Green Bay, you got the fans. You got the fans over in Green Bay. Minnesota's owned by Jackson Mahomes, I believe, or at least I saw a cheerleader video. I think that's who owns the Vikings. And then apparently the owner of the Bears now lives in Pittsburgh. So there's a lot of moving parts going on with these owners. And I have the Lions first. I do think you guys are going to win. I'm not too, and like you're going to hear a lot of people concerned that they lost their, their OC Ben Johnson. They lost their DC. The heart of this team's Dan Campbell, man. He's coming for your kneecaps. He's going to bite. They're the most complete team, and I think as long as they have Dan Campbell, I think they're going to be okay. They've still got the best offensive line in football. You still got some of the best running backs in the game. Goff he's been incredible in Detroit. So I have you guys like 12-5, somewhere up there. I think you guys are going to be really good. Packers, I actually have them around 10 wins. I just think that their schedule is really hard. And looking at their team, it's like, how can we get better this year? We got a bunch of like fast little guys at receiver, so let's draft Matthew Golden. It's like, okay, that helped. And they're like, all right, in free agency, we need to scoop up Mecole Hardman. It's like, okay, great, that helped. Like, I don't know really what this Packers team, how they're much different than last year. Still think that they're pretty good. Jordan Love seems like he's a pretty decent quarterback. I just think that schedule is going to be really tough for those guys. Don't love their head coach either. Then I'm looking at the Vikings. Part of it is like, okay, maybe they moved off of, like, I like your Chiefs analogy where they moved off of Alex Smith to Mahomes. They're like, this kid's got like a lot of talent. They moved off of Darnold. They didn't want to pay Darnold the money. I wouldn't want to pay Alex Smith the money either. So they're like, if we're going to lose in the first round of the playoffs, I'm going to keep some of my bank account instead of paying Darnold to go lose in the first round. So I think they're going to be decent. And I thought Ethan's actually talked me up a little bit on the Vikings, believe it or not. I was pretty low on them. I have them around 8 and 9 now. I just think there's a cap to this team. And I don't know if they go as high with Darnold because Darnold had so much time starting in the league, whereas JJ run heavy offense when he was in college. Now, Vikings, I mean, you got the weapons. Maybe he can make it happen. I have them around 8 wins. Bears, we were talking about this earlier too, that I think wasn't their win total said like 8.5, I believe, and we were like, man, I can see them hitting right around there. Well, I looked at the schedule. I got them around 7. I don't think they get there because, I mean, you're looking at it and just like, man, the Raiders can beat these guys. Like, the Raiders aren't going to go winless. Like, some of these really bad teams, yeah, they can beat the Bears. Caleb Williams, there's not been a lot of good stuff coming out of camp. I do think they're better. I think they got some nice pieces over there, but Bears in the basement, that's a pretty easy one for me there. Talking about, yes.
I think it's talking about the Packers, and you brought up their 15 wide receivers they got in that room.
Yes.
I just think it's hilarious. As soon as they got rid of Rodgers, which they were notorious for never drafting any offensive players in the first round, that now they just keep on getting them weapons out first round after first round after first round. Now that Rodgers is gone, they're finally giving him some offensive help. So that kind of a kick in the nuts for Aaron. But yeah, they do not need help at wide receiver. That's the toughest part about Green Bay is they have 7 guys, and I'm not going to draft any of them in fantasy.
No.
I guess Doubs is the guy now, but I mean, they have so many guys that are identical, and it's just really tough they're a nightmare for fantasy.
Half the people say Dobbs is going to make the team. They say it's going to get cut.
I just quick to sort out the scheduling. Lions play Packers week 1, and then Thanksgiving they finish in Chicago against the Bears.
Ooh. All right. Well, hey, let's talk about. We went from one of the best divisions of football. This is knee-jerk reaction, neck jerk, whatever you want to call it. NFC South. We're going to talk about the worst one. But in my opinion, by far the worst. We talked about the AFC South, how bad that one was. AFC South might run a train on this NFC South. It's pretty bad. Wyatt, I'm going to let you start with this one, even though it's so so nasty. I apologize doing that to you.
Yeah, I'm just going to start off. I can't bet Tampa to win this division. I just can't do it. They are a dying team. I mean, Mike Evans, I love him. I've had him on fantasy for like 10 years straight. He's been wonderful. Had I think it's 10 straight years of 1,000 plus
Something
receiving
like
yards, NFL record. They are a dying team. I mean, Baker's Baker. You know, he's fine. Godwin is probably going to break his leg again. I don't know if he's fully healthy. Their running backs are okay. Their defense has got progressively worse. I can't back Tampa. So for that reason, and I hate it, I really wanted to take Carolina. You guys know how much I like Bryce.
Your boys.
But I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna take Atlanta to win this one plus 240. We got a different quarterback situation. We got Penix, I guess, who's starting now. You got Kirk Cousins, who's a fantastic backup if that's the position he plays. Obviously, Penix is gonna have some question marks. But Bijan, I think, is the best running back in the league. You got a couple weapons at wide receiver. Pitts, who knows what that guy's up to, but he could have a breakout year, especially with a young quarterback. But I'm going to take a shot. Atlanta, I just can't bet Tampa. I think they're old. I think they're dying. Atlanta's plus 240. I'm going to take Tampa second, I guess. I don't love that at all either. I think this team easily could come third in this division. And then I'll take Carolina at 4. Again, I'm pretty high on Carolina. Their win total is at 6.5. I'd debate taking that over. I think they're going to win some sneaky games that they shouldn't. I think they're going to beat some pretty good teams. We saw some glimpses of them last year, looking a lot better. So I think Carolina's going to continue to improve, but I just think they're at an uphill battle to win this division. And then the Saints, this is going to be the worst team in football. Not even a question in my mind. I'm Rattler and Tyler Shuck are their quarter. Alvin Kamara's dying as well. I might as well throw him on the Bucs. Their wide receivers are never healthy. Their defense is terrible. I think the Saints, their win total's at 4.5. I think they're right there at 3 wins with the Jets, maybe. Well, I said the Jets were going to go defeated, but they're going to be bad. But yeah, I'm going to take a shot. Falcons to win the NFC South.
Yeah, I'll start with the Aints are dead last.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to elaborate on it. But the rest has my brain in a complete pretzel. I don't even know. I would not recommend betting a division winner in this one whatsoever. I picked the Bucs. Reason being, I still believe in Baker, still believe in Mike. I think Godwin's really going to have a down year, but they have Emeka Egbuka, who was one of my favorite players in the draft. So I like him. I like Bucky. Yeah, defense shouldn't be as good as what we've seen in the past, but when you're asking them to finish better than the Panthers and the Falcons, you're basically in a 3-man division at that point. So,
yeah,
I don't know. I would lean Bucs. It wouldn't shock me if they finished 3rd, 2nd, 1st. For this little exercise here, give me the Bucs. I actually have the Panthers finishing 2nd. I am high on the Panthers this year. Wouldn't shock me if they win this division. I think this is Bryce Young's, well, it's either his coming out year or probably his last year because he doesn't have much time to waste. So I'm still a Bryce Young believer, believe it or not. And yeah, I think the Panthers made a lot of good offseason signings, had a good draft. Weak division, obviously, here. So I think the Panthers 2nd, Falcons 3rd. Again, I could see the Falcons finishing 1st in this division as well. All I know, Saints are finishing 4th. Couldn't tell you the other 3, but for the sake of this, my gut is telling me Bucs, Panthers, Falcons.
I think we're all pretty close here. I also have the Saints in last. If you watch the Futures episode, I have them under their win total was the pick I gave out, but I also gave out the least wins in the NFL. I gave that pick out too. I believe it was like plus 600 or something stupid, which just seems maybe they're going to like have 8 wins because that just feels too easy. But I have the Saints with like 4 wins. Then I have the Panthers in 3rd, but I agree with you guys. Like, this is a team that almost beat Kansas City, and Kansas City, they were just getting, like, God wanted this team to win so they could get to the Super Bowl to get their backs blown out like Kamala Harris. So the 3-peat almost happened. Falcons 7-10. I don't trust Penix, dude. It's just something about him. And if you watch the Christmas episode, we said that with all these Cousins and Penix, I'm surprised they're not the Alabama Falcons, straight from Ethan's mouth. So I just don't trust him enough. But the Kyle Pitts shorts, and I can't believe one of them was from us. Thank you, Wyatt, for making that, are just giving me life. I know we're right there at fantasy football season when I start seeing the Kyle Pitts videos coming out again. So I got the Buccaneers. Like, I have them around 11 wins just because I think they have a lot of wins on their schedule. I think they get a lot in the division. I'm just trusting Baker here. this Baker, and he's got some good options, like you were saying. They got a pretty good offensive line. They got people are like saying Rachaad White's dead, but like he was really good. But Bucky's just better, so they got some good running backs there. This division is terrible though, so I could see any of those three teams: Panthers, Falcons, Bucs, winning it. No arguments here. You guys ready to move on to the East?
No,
not really, but we'll get through it.
Yeah. Well, I can't believe. I guess I'm starting the NFC East one. This is disgusting. NFC East. Okay, I got the Eagles winning it. But people forget how mid they were last year. That is the little exclaimer I put on them, because people think like this defense was crazy because of what they did in the Super Bowl, and like maybe I think like the last 2 games of the playoffs. It's like they played really good, but that's when your back's against the wall. You can't lose anymore. If we go back to like the middle of the season, this team was not as good as we remember. Saquon Barkley had to stay healthy the entire year. Rarely has done that. Which also like what the. Okay, I don't want to cuss, but what was going on last year? James Conner was healthy the whole season. Saquon Barkley's healthy. Like running backs just didn't get injured last year. Very, very rare. So we'll see if that can happen again. But the Eagles,
Yeah.
death taxes and
team won't forget that. Yeah.
No. So I got the Eagles winning just based on that roster. Commanders second is 9-8, might be too high. I know we're probably all on the Jane Daniels taking a step back, sophomore slump wagon here, but once again, it seems like they got a lot of easy games on their schedule. Cowboys 7-10, maybe. There just seems like there's a lot of drama already on that team. I can see this exploding quickly. And then Giants, I actually have them at 6-11. I think they're going to be semi-decent with that defense. But once again, I can also see head coach getting fired halfway through the season. This is becoming a cluster F of a team halfway through. This offense isn't going to be good, but that defense should steal a couple wins. Ethan, what do you think?
Yeah, I don't know what to make of this division. Obviously, the big story that circles this division every single year is they have not had a repeat division winner, I think, in like 21 years now. But I do think the Eagles ultimately repeat. I am ultimately down on the Commanders this year, so I don't think they win it, and I just don't have quite enough faith in the Giants or Cowboys to be better than Philly. So I think almost by default, I have the Eagles winning this division. Give me the Giants second. Okay,
I like that.
I'm ready to get hurt. I'm ready to get hurt for at least the second year in a row, probably the third, betting the Giants every single week. But I just, on paper, they have a good team. I'm not ready to quite quit on Russ. You know, I probably should be, but I'm not. I think he can be serviceable. And if it's not him, I think Jackson Dart is a great young quarterback in this draft. Neighbors a top receiver. You mentioned their defense is great. Good running backs. I like the Giants a lot, actually. So give them second. I could see them winning right around 9 games, being kind of the shock of the league this year. Commanders close to that, 8 or 9 wins as well. I'll put them third. Cowboys almost by default last, but I'm not going to be shocked if they're 7 wins, maybe 8. I don't really know what to make of this division. I know I am high on the Giants, but not high enough to put them up top. I'm low on the Commanders, but not low enough to put them at the bottom. So, I don't know. That's where I stand. Eagles, Giants, Commanders, Cowboys.
Yeah, I unfortunately am going to take the defending Super Bowl champs at Philadelphia Eagles to win this division. Not because I like the Eagles, but because how much I hate the Commanders. I couldn't agree more that they're going to have a down year. That was one of my future bets. Under wins for the Commanders. They took us out of the blue last year. Jane Daniels was put into a fantastic situation. He played pretty well. I just think defenses are going to figure him out quickly. So I just can't put them – I can't have them have a good year. So that makes the Eagles, unfortunately, the winner of this division. I'll take Commanders second. I am also going to take the Giants to have a better year than expected. 5.5 wins, I'd take that over in a heartbeat. I'll take them third, and I think Dallas is going to be absolutely miserable. Talk about a team that just zero chemistry, locker room problems, internal problems with Jerry Jones. This could be the year. I know he's never going to sell until the day he dies, but I mean, if they win 3 games, I I can't see him sticking around much longer. I mean, the players hate him. The fans hate him. Dallas hasn't won a Super Bowl since 90-something. I mean, they're going to be bad news bears. So I have them finishing dead last in this division. Under 7.5 wins. I think this is a 4 or 5 win team, Cowboys, where they ultimately have to make some big decisions for next season.
I thought you were going to say there won't sell till he dies. So maybe this will be the year that he dies. But
he looks like he's on his deathbed. So
I was thinking it might come sooner rather than later. The way he's been yapping, dude. He's walking through the locker room, catches the wrong guy at the wrong time.
Right. Micah's going to throw a right hook, and that's going to end Jerry Jones.
George Pickens.
Yeah.
You just see Pickens routing up Jerry down a hallway.
If George Pickens isn't targeted in the first half of the first games, he might go up and kill Jerry.
Let's talk about one of the most interesting divisions when you're trying to predict a winner, in my opinion. The NFC West. This is a bunch of teams that I think have people all over the place. I am seeing teams way sky high and the same team super low. So Ethan, let's start with you, and I think we've been pretty close on all the AFC and NFC so far. I'm really interested to see where we land here.
Yeah, this division I'm kind of high on 3 teams, really low on another. Again, at the top, this isn't a bet that I could make. I couldn't bet really any division winner in the NFC, to be honest with you. I'm leaning the Rams, though. I think the Rams are going to be the team to beat. And it really is going to depend on if Stafford can stay healthy. I know his back's given him all sorts of trouble already, not practicing, obviously not playing preseason. But one of the toughest guys in the NFL. We've seen it for 17 years now. So if he can stay healthy, Sean McVay is still a top coach, if not the top coach, a top coach. I think Andy Reid's probably the top. But really good coach, really good pieces around him. Got Devontae, Puka, obviously. Running game is really strong. Good O-line. Solid defense, had defensive rookie of the year last season. So, yeah, I think the Rams are just well built. Very recently removed from a Super Bowl run. Still have a few of those pieces left on the team. So, yeah, I'll take the Rams number 1. I'll take the Niners to bounce back, finish number 2 in this division. Same thing, really, as the Rams. Not far removed from Super Bowl appearances. Brock Purdy is who he is, I guess. He's not great. I think he's been shown to be susceptible to some bad games, but receiving kind of up in the air. No Debo, and Ayuk is who he is. But you still got Kittle. You still got CMC. You still have a solid defense, solid coach. So we'll take them second. Pretty high on the Cardinals this year. I have them finishing 3rd, but it wouldn't shock me if they actually bump up above the Niners. I think Cardinals are actually, in my opinion, going to be really good this year. They have a really good O-line that's underrated. Still a Kyler believer, which maybe I shouldn't be. Marvin Harrison should have a kind of breakout year. James Conner. Solid defense as well. So Cardinals, 3rd. And then, Ben, you really opened my eyes to this in the Futures episode. Seahawks are going to be ass this year. So that's the team I'm absolutely fading. Don't like Seattle whatsoever. So they're an easy 4th place in this division. I'm pretty high on the other 3. Wouldn't shock me any finishing order there. Even if the Cardinals won that division, it wouldn't fully shock me.
Well, what a great way to transition into me. I'm going to take the Cardinals to win this one. They're plus 425 to win the NFC West. The only fan or team with least amount of fans compared to the Chargers. So they might win the division in front of 14,000 people. But
Chargers have the super fan, though. Don't forget her.
That's true. She might be in Arizona this year. You never know. She's a plant. Yeah, Arizona. I mean, Murray's Murray. He's fine as long as he doesn't fumble or turn the ball over, which he's not that great at. But he's got great weapons. He's got Marvin Harrison. He's got Trey McBride, who I think might be tight end 1 at the end of the year. He's got James Conner at running back. Defense is okay. Better now with Will Johnson, Michigan boy. Only guy that can lock up Marvin, by the way. Doesn't help them that he's on their team. But yeah, I like Arizona quite a bit. I think they can win this one. And also, this is the closest division in wins in all of football. we have 1 win separating the top and the bottom. 9.5 wins for the Niners, 9.5 wins for the Rams, and then 8.5 for both the Cardinals and the Seahawks. So 1 win defining this entire division here. So it makes it really difficult. But I think the value's there for the Cardinals. I think they're going to have a pretty good year. I can't take San Fran with their wide receiver room. I don't know who they're going to throw the ball to. Ayuk and Ricky Pearsall, who's I think still shot. So not really sure what's going to go on there. I do think Kittle is going to be a great option, especially for, again, another young quarterback that loves their tight end. We saw that happen last year. George Kittle having a breakout year, getting back to where he was previously. So, but I can't bet them with that wide receiver room. But I will take them second. I'm going to fade the Rams a little bit simply, and I love Stafford, but he's getting old. He's getting a little too old there. Their offensive line, I think, is going to give him a little bit of trouble. And Ethan said already a couple injury concerns, back problems. It's just an old man syndrome. And I know they got Devontae Adams, which is the big name there, but I don't know. He's no Calvin Johnson. So I'll take the Rams third, and then I agree, Seahawks. Unfortunately, my Michigan coach there. I just don't think they have a whole lot to work with. They're going to struggle. So, I think the value is too good not to take the Cardinals. Plus 425. I think this division is going to be tight until the end of the year. But Arizona might be in contention to squeak it out at the end of the year.
This one was very tough for me. And we were all a lot closer than I thought we would be. I, too, have the Rams. Mine is going to be very, very close to Ethan's this year. I like the Rams because of McVay. I think that he did a really good job with those rookies he got on defense last year. And if they can keep playing at the level that they were, I think they'll be pretty decent. The Stafford injury, we were hearing about the McCaffrey injury, remember? He had the Achilles tendonitis, and that ended up being both of his Achilles. And it just we thought he was going to play week 1. And everything came out that he was going to play week 1. It just kept getting worse and worse and worse. I'm a little afraid that's what's going to happen to Stafford. I'm going into it with these predictions that he's going to be okay by week 1. So I think if he's fine, I'll have Rams at 1. I'll do Cardinals at 2. I'll do the Cardinals at 2. I was really shocked that Ethan picked them. I think it was one of your favorite futures was the Cardinals.
Yep.
I like it. I think a lot of people are sleeping on them. And you know what? People say, well, what if James Conner gets hurt? I really like Trey Benson. I think he can be really, really good there. So I like the Cardinals. The only issue I have with the Cardinals is I don't think Gannon could motivate a fat kid to eat a candy bar. That dude is the most wet paper towel coach I've ever seen in my life. Made quite a few memes about him last year. So that concerns me about the Cardinals, but they have the roster to do it. Like Wyatt said, who are they going to throw the ball to in San Fran? And we saw with Brock Purdy, as the team starts to fall apart, his weapons fall apart, so does he. And they're going to have to rely more on McCaffrey, I believe. And then once again, dude already can't stay healthy. If they're really going to rely on him as much as I think they're going to need to, he's just going to get too banged up. This team's going to fall apart fast at the seams. The tackle, I forget his name, the really good big guy that got
Trent Williams.
Yes, he just keeps getting older every year.
That is how age
vibes
works.
are bad. Huh?
That is how age works.
Yes, but we're starting to get to a point where it starts to become a little concerning. I don't know. This wide receiver room is just too scary for me. Juwan Jennings with the holdout. I just don't trust our boy Purdy to be spectacular. And then the Seahawks, I can't believe I put them at 7 wins, but that seems way too high. Because he went from one of the best offensive lines. And once again, we talked about it on the Fantasy Future show, or the Future Betting show, that this offensive line for the Seahawks is bottom 3. They give you no time to throw. You're throwing to a team that has had DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett at the helm for at least the last 4 years. And now you have I love JSN, especially for fantasy. But then after him, you have a really old Cooper Kupp. And you get, I just think it's terrible, the Seahawks. I have them at 7 wins. I think I'm way too high. This team's not going to be good this year. Let's get into the playoff seeds. Yes, Ethan.
One last thing. I'm seeing, according to ESPN, 12th on the receiver depth chart. Player formerly known as Robbie Anderson. Robbie chose it on the Niners depth chart there. So don't sleep on that receiving core. Good.
The only player with worse hands than Tony.
Yeah.
Let's talk about The chosen one. Let's talk about these playoff teams. So I guess I'll go first. I got the Lions at 1. I got the Eagles at 2. It's going to be very similar to last year. I got Rams at 3, Bucs at 4, Packers 5, Commanders 6, Cardinals 7. So once again, I don't think there's going to be much change from last year. And I was kind of thinking about that the other day. Like, why? We were talking about it on the last show too. Like, are there going to be a lot of new teams? My problem, why I don't think there's going to be a lot of new ones, and I'd like to get your guys' input on this too. I just don't think that the bad teams did enough at all to reach any of the good teams. Like, and I don't think the good teams lost any pieces. Like, there were no huge Aaron Rodgers going to Pittsburgh. It's just not enough for me to change that one. There's been a couple moves that it's just. They
were a playoff team last year.
You know what I'm saying. Let's go to Ethan next.
All right, I'm taking Packers to have the 1 seed in the NFC. Ooh. Packers 1, Rams 2, Eagles 3, Bucs 4, wild card Lions 5, Niners 6, Cardinals 7. Just missed New York Football Giants.
Wow. I will go Eagles 1, Lions 2, Cardinals 3, Falcons 4. We'll go Green Bay at 5. Oh boy. Let's go Minnesota at 6. And then let's go Tampa Bay at 7. San Fran and the Rams miss.
Man, okay, I like it.
Or NFC North. Is that possible?
Yes, it is. I think that if we just clip Wyatt there, it'd sound like he's making a list of his favorite birds. He's like, well, number 1, we got the Eagles. Then I got the Cardinals.
Falcons.
No Seahawks.
No Seahawks. All right, guys, that is going to do it for this episode of Intentional Lounge. Thank you guys for watching. These guys will be back with some more breaking down some of these preseason games. As always, you have more content. Baseball, UFC, college football is going to start coming out here soon. So make sure you guys are subscribed. Hit that like button. Leave us some comments. Your guys' 7 making the playoffs. To give us 1 through 7 your seeding. So I would like to know that. We can compare it. We'll hit you back in the comments. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you later. Peace, guys.
Later, guys.
See you guys.
Flexing on the haters, can't touch my score. Money like Jerry Rice, touchdowns galore. Week after week, always asking for more. Bling on the wrist, got the books on the floor. Listen in, cash out, pay just swelling. Plays on the field, see me winning, never dwelling. Flag on Vegas, they know what I'm selling. NFL bets, keep the cheesy compelling. Flexing on the haters, can't touch my score. Money like